Have you ever noticed that the way you wake up can determine the way your whole day unfolds? It's like the opening scene of a movie. If it's powerful, it pulls you in. If it's dull, you're already looking for something else to watch. But here's the thing, this isn't just a movie, this is your life. Every morning, you have the pen in your hand and you get to write the first chapter of your day. If that first chapter is written with intention, the rest of the day tends to follow with purpose. If it's written carelessly, chaos slowly seeps in. Many people leave their mornings to chance, wake up to an alarm, scroll through their phone, rush into the day. But what they don't realize is that they've already lost before the game has even begun. Why? Because the mind you wake up with is like wet clay. It can be shaped into anything. If you let the world shape it first, it will be molded by fear, comparison, and distraction. But if you shape it intentionally, you can create peace, focus, and direction that carry you through the next 24 hours. So today, I want to share with you 5 things to do every morning that will not only transform your day, but over time your life. These are not complicated steps. They don't require expensive gadgets, long hours, or extreme discipline. What they do require is presence. Because the morning is not about how much you do, but about how deeply you do it. When you practice these 5 things, you'll start noticing something magical. The noise in your head gets quieter. The problems of yesterday don't feel as heavy. You're not reacting to life, you're directing it. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being prepared. If you've ever wondered why some people seem to walk through the day with unshakable calm and confidence, the secret often lies in what they do before the rest of the world even wakes up. And if you give me your attention for the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly how you can be one of those people. Not someday, but starting tomorrow morning. Because remember, if you win the morning, you don't just win the day, you begin to win at life. Your morning is not just a beginning. It's the foundation upon which the rest of your day is built. Think of it like constructing a building. If the foundation is strong, the structure can withstand storms, winds, and even unexpected shocks. But if the base is weak, even the smallest disturbance can shake the whole thing. Every morning, you lay down that foundation, brick by brick, thought by thought, choice by choice. And yet, so many people start their mornings by accident, not intention. They wake up when they have to, not when they want to. They reach for their phones before they reach for their thoughts. They let the first thing they see or read dictate how they feel. Without realizing it, they've handed over control of their day before they've even stepped out of bed. Your morning shapes your destiny because the first thoughts you think are like seeds. Plant seeds of stress, comparison, and negativity, and you'll find yourself harvesting anxiety and frustration all day long. Plant seeds of gratitude, focus, and purpose, and you'll reap clarity, energy, and peace. It's not magic, it's momentum. What you start with is what you carry forward. If you wake up hurried, your day will feel rushed. If you wake up mindful, your day will feel intentional. This is why it's so important to guard your first hour fiercely, as if your future depends on it. Because in many ways it does. Think of a river at its source. At the very beginning, it's just a small stream, easy to redirect, easy to guide. But once it gains speed and force, it's nearly impossible to change its course. Your mind is the same way. The moment you wake up, your thoughts are soft, open, and ready to be shaped. That's your chance to set direction. Once the day picks up speed with tasks, demands, and distractions, it becomes much harder to slow down or redirect yourself. This is why so many successful and peaceful people protect their mornings. They know that the first hour is the hour of power. It's the time to align your inner world before the outer world comes knocking. Because here's the truth: if you don't set the tone for your day, someone else will. It might be a news headline, an urgent email, a message from a friend, or even a random post on social media. Without meaning to, you've allowed something outside you to decide how you feel inside. And when you live like that day after day, it's no wonder you feel like life is just happening to you instead of you happening to life. Imagine two people waking up. The first one rolls over, grabs their phone, scrolls through updates, and immediately feels stressed, comparing themselves to others. They rush to get ready, already feeling behind. The second person wakes up, sits quietly for a moment, and takes a deep breath. They think about what they're grateful for, remind themselves of what truly matters, and visualize how they want the day to go. Who do you think is more likely to navigate challenges with clarity and calm? Who is more likely to feel in control of their choices? The answer is obvious. And it's all because of how they started their morning. It's tempting to think that your destiny is shaped by big, dramatic decisions. But more often, it's shaped by small, consistent ones. The choice to wake up a little earlier. The choice to spend 5 minutes in silence instead of rushing into noise. The choice to think about what you want to create instead of what you want to avoid. Over time, these small choices create habits, and those habits create your future. When you start to see your morning as sacred, something shifts. You stop treating it like a throwaway part of the day and start protecting it like a treasure. You realize that what you do in that first hour is not just for the day ahead, it's for the life you're building. If you fill your morning with intention, reflection, and focus, you're not just winning the day, you're stacking days upon days that align with the life you actually want to live. That's why the way you wake up matters so much. You're not just opening your eyes, you're opening the door to everything that's possible for you. The energy you choose, the mindset you cultivate, the focus you set, all of it determines whether you'll simply go through the day or whether you'll grow through it. And if you truly want to change your life, start here. Start with the morning. Because when you shape your morning, you're not just shaping hours. You're shaping your destiny. It's easy to underestimate the power of small rituals. We often believe that change requires a dramatic overhaul, a sudden leap, or a monumental event. But real transformation doesn't usually happen that way. It comes from the quiet, consistent actions that shape who we are over time. Small rituals may seem insignificant in the moment, but they have a way of weaving themselves into the fabric of our character, slowly but surely creating a different version of us. They are like drops of water. One drop feels like nothing, but over time, those drops can carve valleys, shape stones, and even change the course of rivers. Think about the morning rituals you already have: brushing your teeth, making tea or coffee, taking a shower. You don't think twice about them because they're part of your life. In the same way, if you introduce intentional rituals into your mornings, just a few small actions done with purpose, you'll start to see shifts that are far greater than the effort it takes to do them. These rituals signal to your mind and body that it's time to rise, focus, and move forward. They act like anchors in the storm, keeping you steady no matter what else happens during the day. The beauty of small rituals is that they don't demand huge amounts of time or energy. They demand consistency. It could be something as simple as drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning to wake your body up, or writing down 3 things you're grateful for to shift your mindset toward positivity. It could be a short moment of deep breathing, a prayer, or reading a page from a book that inspires you. None of these things take long, but each one sends a powerful message to your brain. This is the kind of day I'm choosing to create. Over time, that message becomes a habit, and that habit becomes part of who you are. The problem is, many people dismiss small rituals because they don't see instant results. They try a gratitude journal for a week, don't feel massively different, and give up. But transformation is rarely instant. It's gradual, almost invisible, until one day you realize you're thinking differently, reacting differently, and even walking through life with a lighter heart. That's the power of compound consistency. Just as you don't become unhealthy overnight, you don't become your best self overnight either. But small, daily rituals are the bricks that build the path to that better self. Rituals also create stability in a world that is unpredictable. You can't control every challenge or circumstance that comes your way, but you can control the way you start your day. When you begin your mornings with intentional rituals, you're telling yourself, I'm in charge of how I show up today. This sense of control over your own energy and mindset makes it easier to face uncertainty with resilience. Imagine a person who starts every day by sitting in silence for 5 minutes, focusing on their breath, and visualizing how they want the day to unfold. Then, they write a short note of encouragement to themselves in a journal. Each action is small, barely noticeable in the grand scheme of time. But do this for a month, and you'll notice more calm, more clarity, and more confidence. Do it for a year, and it becomes so natural that missing it feels strange. Over time, the person who practices these rituals becomes more grounded and less easily shaken by stress. Small rituals also work because they create identity. You're not just someone who tries to be healthy or tries to be focused. You become a person who drinks water before coffee, a person who takes 5 minutes to meditate, a person who plans their day before diving into it. And once an action becomes part of your identity, it's far easier to sustain. The goal is not to force yourself to do something every day. It's to become the kind of person who naturally does it because it feels like who you are. This is why morning rituals are so powerful. They are a daily vote for the kind of life you want to live. Every time you choose to engage in them, you're affirming your commitment to growth, peace, and clarity. And even though the steps may be small, the ripple effect is enormous. A calm and intentional morning can lead to better decisions, healthier relationships, and more meaningful work. It's not the size of the ritual that matters. It's the consistency and the intention behind it. So never underestimate the seemingly small acts you commit to each day. Like the slow but steady rising of the sun, they bring light, warmth, and life, not all at once, but inevitably if you keep showing up. In the beginning, you might not notice much change. But one day, you'll look back and realize that these small rituals didn't just shape your mornings. They transformed your life. They say the way you start something often determines how you finish it, and nowhere is that more true than in the way you start your day. The morning is like the opening chapter of a book. If it's rushed, scattered, and unfocused, the rest of the story will carry that same energy. But if it's calm, clear, and intentional, the rest of the day tends to flow with purpose. Winning the morning is not about cramming as much as possible into those first hours. It's about using them in a way that sets the tone for everything that follows. When you win the morning, you give yourself an edge. You're not just reacting to life as it comes. You're creating a rhythm before the world can throw you off balance. This doesn't mean your day will be free of challenges, but it does mean you'll meet those challenges from a stronger place. It's like walking into a storm with an umbrella and a coat instead of being caught off guard in the rain. You can't always control the weather, but you can control how prepared you are to face it. The reason mornings hold so much power is because they are often the quietest, most undisturbed part of your day. Before the phone starts ringing, before the notifications start buzzing, before the world starts demanding your attention, you have a window of time that is entirely yours. How you use that time matters. You can spend it mindlessly scrolling, snoozing, or rushing, or you can spend it centering yourself, setting your intentions, and fueling your mind and body for what's ahead. One choice leaves you feeling behind before you've even begun. The other leaves you feeling grounded and ready. Winning the morning also builds momentum. Imagine a car at rest. It takes more effort to get it moving, but once it's rolling, it requires less energy to keep going. Your mindset works the same way. If you start your day with discipline, focus, and positive energy, you carry that momentum into your work, your conversations, and your decisions. But if you start in chaos, you spend the rest of the day trying to regain control, and often you never quite catch up. It's also important to realize that winning the morning is not about doing what looks good on paper. It's about doing what nourishes your soul and sharpens your mind. For some, that might mean exercise to energize the body. For others, it's reading something inspiring, journaling, or spending time in prayer or reflection. It's less about the specific activity and more about the fact that you are starting your day intentionally rather than accidentally. You are telling yourself, I choose how my day begins. And that choice creates a ripple effect that can touch every hour that follows. The truth is, most people lose their day in the first hour without realizing it. They wake up already late, grab their phone, check messages, feel overwhelmed, and rush into the next task. By the time they catch their breath, half the day is gone, and they've been reacting instead of leading. But the ones who win their mornings have a completely different experience. They wake up with time to spare, move through a short sequence of rituals, and walk into the day already having accomplished something for themselves. That sense of self-leadership makes them more confident, more focused, and more resilient. There's also a deep psychological reason behind the saying, win the morning, win the day. The brain loves completion. When you begin your day by achieving even small victories, making your bed, finishing a workout, planning your priorities, you trigger a sense of accomplishment that fuels motivation. That motivation makes you more likely to tackle bigger tasks with the same energy. On the other hand, starting with procrastination or distraction tells your brain that avoidance is acceptable. And that pattern can follow you for the rest of the day. And winning the morning isn't just about productivity. It's also about presence. It's about starting from a place of clarity so that you are not simply doing more, but living better. It's about pausing before you step into the noise, taking a deep breath, and deciding how you want to show up. It's about claiming the first part of your day for yourself before giving it to anyone else. When you do that, you are no longer pulled into the chaos of other people's priorities. You're anchored in your own. So if you want to change your days, start with your mornings. Guard them fiercely. Fill them with actions that uplift you, not drain you. Whether it's 10 minutes or 2 hours, use that time to create alignment between who you are and how you want to live. Because if you can win the morning, if you can step into the day already steady, focused, and full of intention, then no matter what comes, you've already taken the first and most important step toward winning the day.